Go, go.
It is 23:01 on the 15:02:20. You have I, David, and that man there, Kev. Easy, Kev.
Hello, brothers and sisters. Welcome to Patrick O'Connor show. Hello, yeah, hope everybody's alright. Come join us, please. Oh, I might even share this. That'd be mad of me, wouldn't it? Yes, hope everybody's okay. In good spirits here. Thank you, if you're asking. If you're not, oh well, I've just told you. It's all good.
If you're asking, I've called it consciousness conned and awoken, because that kind of explains exactly who and what and where we are. Consciousness has been conned and it is actually awoken. It's conscionable. The thumbnail, meatloaf. I found another one like the police and what was it now? Depeche Mode. Reach out and touch faith. Yeah, that reach out and touch faith moment. I had that song in my head and messages from the past. Well, the meatloaf lyric, it's a never-ending attack. Everything's a lie, and that's a fact. Life is a lemon, and I want my money back. Is what man said back in day. If you recall, Kev, that's a lyric there.
Oh, I recall it very well. Yeah, Andy, Simon. All right, guys, how you doing? Everything's all right with you too?
Oh yeah,
a few more.
Andy.
Sorry, mate.
Yes, Simon. Andy.
No, you're right, Dave. All that, yeah. Depeche Mode.
Wait.
Yeah.
Last week, I think it was Andy. If I'm right, did Andy say he was feeling a little bit sapped? I'm asking Andy a question. Am I recalling a comment that I saw that I never answered? That when we finished. I thought, I should have mentioned to Andy about my feelings on. I think when I was talking to a Horror Master, Enki, he mentioned about, or somebody mentioned, if it wasn't Andy, about feeling sapped energy, weird times, stuff. Was that? Am I remembering it right? If not, we can move on, Kev. It's all good.
I do recall. You might be right about the Andy side. I'm not sure if it was Andy Gregg side. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I think it was.
There's a whole week gone
by. I know.
I've got a problem with the last few minutes. Anders, how you doing, mate? Nice to see you.
I know my scribes. I believe I know my scribes. That's a good test.
Oh, right. Hang on. This might solve my problem. Every time it does that. Oh, YouTube, you're such a witch. Right, so I'm in live chat now. Okay. Fly.
Anders.
How you doing?
Anders is there under Simon.
Yeah, I just said low and Simon and out, so I've covered everybody. Oh look, Dave, you're in there. Hello, Dave. Are you alright, mate?
Yeah, no. Don't like it.
No. On that one. Ah, dear.
It says, wait there, I'm not, things are, it says the video, I'm not, it's not playing for me. There we go, let's refresh.
Conscience.
This is it. Consciousness, conscience. There we go, it's on, it's working. So have you got anything you want to say? Open up with news, politics, affairs, events, updates, feelings. Kev?
Feelings? You want me to release feelings? Oh my god. Strap yourselves in, people. I will keep those under control. No, not, there's nothing further to update, really. Put the latest stuff out there, especially on the last two videos, at least. It's just some, if you ever listen. I will put something up on the forum. I will do that. To be honest with you, I said to David earlier that I did start putting something up. For some reason, I decided not to post it, so I might post it in a document rather than as a response in the forum, but just some points to think about when you, with regards to the PIP claim form. Just some things that you might want to consider applying when you return it. But nothing newer than, I think it was 2 weeks ago, when there's one of the guys been helping for a while. He's a lovely guy. I'm not going to say his name at the moment, but he's tucked away down sort of the West Country, and he's been helping people out. He's a lovely bloke, and he'd got, the last thing he got was right, we're processing you now without assessment. So, but I say we have reported that. I've got nothing new. I've got people at that sort of stage, but as I say, everything's so random with these people. You can't say, okay, the next step is going to be this, because that's what they did here, because it's just random what they do. So, you know, it could be a whole different kettle of fish. That's the problem with this game. Everybody's using the same stuff, or is using our process, and the evolutions of, are still ending up in this, you know, bullshit where they just blank you in the end. But it is working. It is working. As I say, they're starting now to then write to you and say, oh, okay, if you DSAR'd us, now we need your consent to respond to the DSAR. Well, hang on. If you haven't got my consent to respond to the DSAR, then you can't have had any consent to process my data, or you wouldn't be asking for consent, would you? So they're tripping themselves up. So this is the game. Yeah, nothing new. People in the process. There's a guy, a regular guy on here. I'm expecting it to end up that way with him, but I think there's more of a fight, as I was just saying on the .com, because I think they're starting to see the implications of what we're doing, as in they're looking at individual cases and going, well, actually, this could go back like 6-10 years. So, you know, it's there's a few things to be proved yet, but as I say, we're getting them into corners, and then this one particular guy, I really, really hope, because if they swallow what we're saying now, then we can easily just go back and go, well, then how do you justify having cut it off then? Because those conditions were met then, and they're actually worse now. So, yeah, you know, I think they're starting to look at some of the approaches we had more seriously, as they can see the writing on the wall. So it's all interesting. I say it's just evolving all the time, and we're moving with it. And say they've changed wording on documents now. So now we've responded, as I say, the last couple of vids we've mentioned about how you should point certain words out and make certain provisions, because it is a contract you've been sent. So, you know, unilateral isn't legal, so you just adjust the contract as you see fit and return it. So I hope you've all picked up on that. As I say, I will put a document up. There won't be a document you can use. It will just be some info, as a you know, in the documents. So you go and find it in the documents if you members. Sorry, Dave.
No, that's good. You carry on, update them, let them know.
Yeah, well, as I say, there's no real updates. Everything, there are people still using it. There are people I know have used it, but I think there's some other stuff come to light since. There's one guy I really need to speak to, because it sounds like he is being shafted, but then other stuff's come to light, and I'm thinking, maybe not so you know, cut and dried as I thought.
Language was the interesting part I found in this, where you've got some case law saying that if, but, maybe, not but, if, maybe. That's interesting. Yeah, the terminology in the language, the communication that they ambiguously use. I'd argue it's an AI robot. They're pre-formatted. Can I just say they're pre-formatted internet letters that they write?
And here's the generated. Thing, as I've said it before, they go to you. You write them a response, or you send them like one of our notices or similar notice, and they go, "Oh, so you've used a template. We noticed you've used a template," and it's like. Funny enough, so have you in this response.
Template for template,
And that's what you do. You go, and we notice, oh, thank you for your letter. So we notice you've used a template, but actually, go and try and find that as a template. There isn't a template of it.
No, the notice is tailored to the specific situation, office, exists,
and they misconstrue it immediately. They ignore it's a notice and try and turn it into a complaint.
Yeah.
Because then they can fob it off easy. That's all that's for. That's for their own system to be able to, police themselves. No, we found we didn't do anything wrong.
Well, under the Universal Postal Union, if you follow
don't get going.
No, leave that other one to one side. But if you do follow, this is why we have the protection of the court system, which is the Postal Union, and those laws governing that mean that if you interfere with someone else's mail, just that alone is a big issue over here. I'd argue there's no victim. Well, there could be a victim. It could be a crime. So
this is another thing.
You see, so if we special deliver it and somebody else opens it other than the private and confidential addressee, they've become a resulting trustee, and it becomes a whole different ball game again, doesn't it?
They become part of the liability claim. Simple as that. Because they've made themselves privy to it, so by their action,
opening it and turning it into
a liability against them too.
Turning it into a complaint instead of diverting it from the chief exec or the officer from the office.
Misconstruing. That's what do they call it? Yeah, it's. I've forgotten the word. It will come to me in a minute. Probably about an hour from now. But that's their misidentification of what it is. That's not your problem.
Yeah, I know.
It's this. Oh, it's a complaint you've written. Well, show me where in that notice that clearly says from the off, it's a notice served under the doctrine of notices. It's the first thing it says to you. And they just go, it must be a complaint then. And that's how they divert the importance or attempt to divert the importance of it. You see, there's no excuse for that. They think that by doing that they're being clever, but they're not. They're actually fucking themselves up, ultimately. Especially when I've got responses from the complaints department, and then I phone the complaint department and say, what complaint? They go, the complaint you made on so-and-so. Read it to me. Read it to me from after the addresses. This is not a letter. Do not treat it as such. This is a note. Right, stop there. Have I made a complaint? I've made a claim against it. I just don't get it. See, this is it. But this is what they're told to do. You're at the we do as we're told level. They probably, I don't know what to do this, and the manager goes, I'll just tell them X, Y, Z. And that's what they do. So, the trouble is, you're shouting at the fucking monkey, not the organ grinder, aren't you?
Yeah, and speaking of those positions, I have posted a link. We will be talking about the video that I was sent in an email by one of the initiates, scribes, regarding John of the Wedger clan and the International Judicial Commission, investigation with all of that information and officers and positions and data. Horrific data to do with UK Met rank and file officers, high officers, ministerial, and all the way down to magistrates and offenders on the street, service users of these of these young, I don't know, young girls. It was saying mostly. But there was obviously boys homeless and got under care orders. But this man testified. I had to stop the video. It's not often I'm on YouTube and I have to stop a video in the wee hours of the morning and I have a moment with myself and go out in the back garden and pace up and down and think, what? Then that's the kind that when I watch this, I don't just put these on because Dave and Kev are on and we want some views and we want some comments. But this man said the following. He said, well, I went in an office and I set this going, and he says, and I was vice or whatever he was, some kind of vice operative in the offices, and he's a dad, and when he said he's a dad of 4, single, doing his job, looking after the family, and then he found out that there was a ring of some kind with kids going missing. And he went, well, we'll have to tackle this and have a look. And all the officers that he talked to were like, no, John, it's not happening. No, John. And then he started digging and he found like 6 girls within so many hours. And he'd found 40 or 50 within a week. And he started going to other officers higher and he got pulled to one side and they had words and said, you need to watch what you're doing. And bottom line is, these care homes have a range of numbers of no parents, ostracised, homeless, with daughters and sons, and some of the girls go missing at the weekend. And when I heard this man relay not only all of that and more, but he said that they go and investigate, and when they find out they've got a care order on them, it means that they're out in the system and they're under the judicial action and acts of and the care acts and so forth in the social system. So there's no mum and dad for one. There's no glory to be had, if you like. I'm not saying that they go for glory, but they go and they perform guardianship and they issue fines and they go to court and they take action, don't they? And they get quite harsh with how they perform safeguarding measures and how others are affected by that, duly or unduly. I'm not here to say that every parent is perfect, because they're not, and there are some that need bringing into line. So let that be said before we start. And I'm not here to say to slag off anybody, but when this man said that he was of that position in a vice squad unit, noticing there was shady shit going off with children at care homes going missing, and then he found out if they're under a care order, they get left. And they just get, because there's no, they're written off were his words. And I went, whoa, that's like a business thing. That's like where in business you have damaged stocks and pallets and you write them off and they're just written off. I goes, but that's someone's daughter or some creation, or, a little whatever, and they're being used for. And in Rotherham, he said there was up to in the 20,000s of cases. And I'm from up Sheffield, why we say on tube and that, it's just having a laugh with the verbiage and the lingo. But Sheffield's next door to Rotherham, and I've just thought that's some serious numbers, that. And so, and when he said the service users were similar, were like a demographic of many and various, and dropping bodies off outside hospitals, and they were in well-to-do cars and suits and stuff, and possibly magistrates being involved, is what this man said, John of the Dredger. So while we're there defending council tax and trying to transfer via endorsement and look for Treasury Direct and argue KJV over red letter, over legalese, over Latin, can we just, I've been told, in an inadvertent way, that we need to focus on just some of us that have got the strength and the calmness and the ability not to get angry and vexated at this line of work. I'd like to put a task force team on, because he's got some claims in here about going to the highest rank and file officer, crested her, and saying to her things like, since I've come to you and mentioned all of this, what have you done? And nothing was done, and it went on for a long time. And he says there's obviously something here, and he got threatened, he got his money stopped, he's been through the mill. And I just thought, like, he's an ex-officer. And on this channel, I've said before, we are not here to slag off every Met rank and file officer or every judge, or we are only here to deliver the message and the truth and the history and the substance. It's your job to use your due diligence and check. Do not believe anything I and this channel put out without checking it and double checking it, because mistakes and errors are made, and there's a lot of data and information, but 90% you will find wholesome and bona fide, as the Latin is bona fide. Yeah. So, I'm sorry for that, because it's not pleasurable. We have a laugh and a joke, but this is some serious numbers. And when this man brought all this out, I just thought, well, amongst all the other lines of work,
intravirus, Dave. 90% is intravirus.
and when we've got the monarchy getting wrapped up in stuff and the media, and when I say Babylon is falling, these are the little cracks. Because some of I get privy to quite a lot of contact because I've put myself out there and I've asked for it and I'm dealing with it and I am answering and I am responding, so I am learning and growing. And some of the stuff that you send me, I'm forced to share with you to say, if you haven't seen this and you don't know of this, then well done to that officer and all the officers that were involved in that, an extra big well done, because we know, like you know, how it is, and this is our job to say that there is a foreign corporate system embedded in this land that really officially helps to cover up crap like that. And I've put that video out there on the .com and on Facebook for others to get information from in advance. But when anybody sits there and says to Dave or Kev or to the trust or to what we do or to any of you, you know, that there's no proof of anything, this is some of the sickening, horrific, harrowing international proof, like the evidences that we need. And I don't take joy in when people send me this to share this with you and to put it out there, but it seems to get forgotten. It's too easily. And council tax and cars, you know, and arguments of you know, litigation for whatever civil reason are one thing, but when blood gets manipulated, and we've got systems out there like care ministers, health ministers, and all this lot, I think we've forgotten a little bit what's important. So I don't want to ruin the night or the evening, but I've done my job now. You see, I've got a job to do, and it's just to like with Marie Curie, and you know, send in an email and to bring you news. It's not, you know, don't blame me for what is said, and how I say it is with love. And I think we need to have a chat, because the findings are, you know, and if we can't trust them to manage children and civil liabilities, and we've got evidences of trusts failing left, right, and centre. There's independent tribunals and investigations and deaths. Yeah,
this is the problem.
We have the evidences. We're not just free men of the land, loony, tree hugging, trying to create. There's a lot of areas where the government needs our help. In effect, we need to somehow now look at authorising us to intervene and take over. You know, no international. We're leaving the euro. They're implementing intermediary measures until they finalise the common law and the new statutory regulations without the EU, intervention. So why don't we play? We're missing a trick here, or we will miss a trick. In the future, they'll look back and go, why didn't somebody at other times, a lot less, have got together and done a lot more? You know, for a lot less. So. I'll leave it there and let you have a bounce off that, Kev. I'll go to the room.
Thank you. I'm just having a Queen Pie Man, just having a shout out to people I haven't. Here we go. It gives my ass toothache. Steve, I think I.
See this is in the thumbnail as well. Consciousness. That's a young consciousness that's been conned, and then has a harsh awakening when they start getting pimped out by the ones that are put there to care for them, and people turn a blind eye and write them off. Under no circumstances would you write off an investigation to a minor asset, sibling, son or daughter, just because there was no legal mum or dad there and there was a care home, a trust in place. That means that they're not worthy of, and word goes around. You know, it's we often cry about our situations, and that's valid. You know, we need to, but I just want to sometimes hit home where the work is and where these failings are when we say that they have failed and malfeasance of office and such things as. And if this guy's got evidence of magistrates and everybody being involved, and we're looking at the dark system that we call Saturnian, and we want to phase it out and replace it with a more genuine, honest system, then this is all the evidence for the claims that man would need to do that without getting violent and vexatious, because it brought me, my mind took me into the new Rambo that they've made, where his daughter gets kidnapped. Yeah, and I just saw all these sovereigns in my mind going, right, that not sovereigns, but initiates, Englishmen, mums and dads, angry mums and dads, just going, we've had enough, and going down to the offices themselves and saying, we are the collection of mums and dads, and we're here to sack you. Reasons are you've killed our. It was my mind, and it was just a little thing that I was playing, but it turned into a Rambo scene because of the nature of my, dark thought at that time.
Oh, hello.
Who's in the house? Yeah, let's see.
I'm just saying, if Fly's done some vetting in there, look. That must be right towards the end. And what Fly's up to, he's a bit of a weirdo.
I want to say...
Did I say that out loud? Sorry.
I want to say hello to Lazy Boy Researcher. I've allowed that message.
You've allowed it, have you? All right, I'm waiting for it to come back then, because I can't see it yet.
Let's have a look. We got Pie Man, Fly. I had a good chat with Fly the other day on the phone.
He's in there. Yeah,
I caught up with him, Kev, after.
I haven't spoke to him in the last few days, but prior to that, we had a couple of 2 or 3 good chats actually on the phone, me and him.
Quinn, Pie Man.
I like him. He's all right. He's a good man.
How is everybody? If you've got a question about anything or a comment before Kev and I go ahead full steam pronto into wherever we're going, there isn't much of a.
Good luck.
I've given you John and the international. That's as big as it gets, and I want some input and feedback on that. But questions, comments, updates, political areas, Boris's reshuffle, hilariousness of poor Sajid, I'm resigning rather than sacking loads of folk, and it really is.
There's a few ways to look at it, but he wasn't really ever a Brexiter anyway, was he? So there's to look at it that way, that, the people he has brought in, but it's all a matter of opinion. And my opinion is it's all bollocks and theatre, and fucking ignore it all, because it don't mean nothing. Corporations run the show. That's just there to fucking keep you all distracted. So bollocks to all of them. I don't care what colour, left, right, centre, or whatever they are. And that is all I shall say on that matter.
There's no point glossing it up at the end there, my son. What have you gone and said? What have you said?
It's all bollocks. And if you buy into the voting thing, I'm sorry.
No.
I'm sorry for you. If you buy into all that and what it all is, if they're telling you right there, why don't Parliament, what do Parliament pass? They pass acts. So they're not laws. Otherwise they'd be called laws of Parliament. So acts, where else do you see acts? Oh yes, in plays, in the theatre. Hello.
The money changers agreed with Pie Man.
It's bullshit.
There was a
Don't buy into it.
Jerry, there was a case here. Charges had to be dropped under common law rules. Nice one, Bosh. Pie Man, all bankers are itches.
Jerry?
Money changers, yes, we know what they say. Go on, Kev.
Jerry, did you say?
That's right, Jerry. It was, yeah. Jezza.
What, in the room now, or you?
In the room now, in the chat. Right now, in chat.
Oh, what is going on, man? I can't see him.
You on top or live chat?
I'm on live. I know it's taken me 3 years. Now I know which one. I've done that so many times. Why can't I see everybody? Oh yeah, because I'm in top chat. That's why.
While we're talking about the corporation and going on with
Jerry, son of Vic, Jerry, my mate Jerry.
Yeah.
Oh, Jerry, I can't see you, mate, at the moment. Hello. Oh, there you are.
Oh, wow. This is crazy.
Sexy bugger. Found you.
When you two have finished having your bromance, can I?
No, we haven't, mate. It's never going to end. Me and Jerry are going to get it on.
Oh, you kill me. There was, because we're talking corporations and these things such as, I want to reminisce a bit of a David Icke that I seen the other day, and he was talking about consciousness, so it ties in with the title and where we're at with the little consciousnesses that we're here to guard ultimately, and look after and I'm responsible for. And whilst he was on about consciousness, he explained that the soul and the body, and getting confused with thinking we are the body. And he used an example of man going on the moon, and to survive on the moon, you'd need the spacesuit. And whilst he was there on the moon in your spacesuit, he says it's like what's happened to man is like if you imagine being on the moon in a spacesuit, if you suddenly start thinking that you are the spacesuit and not the man. And he did do a nice little parody about consciousness and where we have gone wrong with our divinity. And when I say we're kings as king, crowned at birth, mum crowns, and so forth, and there's good logical reason for our line of thought methodology and spiritual side of looking at things. And I know we don't all see exactly the same, but we're in the same ballpark. So when Ike was eloquently, magnificently, eloquently portraying the consciousness and the soul, and he was saying about the body and the moon, and thinking that basically what's happened with us down here and how they've tricked us, the totalitarian tiptoe of. And then he proceeded to go on further, and I'll stop there. I don't often big up Ike, but what I thought was, he then said this. He went, it's like having a mask and putting on a mask. He says, if you don't get it, it's just like you have a mask and you forget to take the mask off. And I went, that's your persona, Ike. Go on, let him have it. And he went on to another subject, and I went, oh, so I'm going to say, well done, Dave, but what you should have done when you captivated all them 68,000 in that kind of arena there with your DVD box set and your YouTube channel and your output, he should have continued to say, so if you get your birth certificate, this could also, and he could have eloquently linked on the, the birth certificate is not you. That's your spacesuit, and you are the man in the spacesuit, and and we could have. So if that helps anybody, I would say Dan and his data self and the surname, date of birth, capital letter, estate, etc., fiction, straw man. And you got a spacesuit now to use. Enjoy. Well done, Ike. But 50%, that's what I mean about the man. He's great, and I will say well done, but what I will say is just half a job, lad. The interesting bits, the juicier bits, rather than the consciousness, the real shit that's bonded and fucked man up right now as we speak in the middle of this merry-go-round of the what do we call it? The divine comedy is what he could have delivered, and he failed. He dropped a scud. So, if I was to...
That's a great description, isn't it? Divine comedy.
Parody of poop.
Oh, fucking hell.
Yeah, so I just thought, well done, Ike, but at the same time, because he's got such a demographic and reach and whatever, he could do a lot of damage, and he knows what we know and more. He's been told to shut up and to keep everybody busy and to give them what they want to hear and to overload them and then to, to whatever, I don't know, but he's still doing it, and he's been doing it a while, and he's talked about the establishment very, very candidly, and
oh, there's loads of things I'd love to chime in and say right now, but
yeah,
I can't.
Corporations.
I'm really sorry. I am absolutely bursting to chime in and say lots of things that tie in with what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But I can't at the moment. Sorry. Oh my God. I'm literally biting down on a tea towel,
He could, he's got the potential to create that wave that he gets respected. They listen to him in every continent. He gets treated like a king, to some extent. I'm not.
I love that. That's great, mate. I love that word.
He's done a lot of work and he presents well. He's very, he gets emotional. He gets the crowd. He works the crowd. He's got his team behind him, and he's got a lot of management. And he gets, Look at Mark Sargent on ITV. Can't I get on with Phil and Thingy then and have a little chat about the CQV? If we can get Mark Sargent.
You're trying to get on the telly with Schofield, you
let's
weirdo.
Oh, text. There's none of that happening. I'm just getting on to do a job. I've got a job to do. And if Mark Sargent can go on and talk about
You're flying for his assistant job.
talk about flat Earth, I haven't even seen it yet. I've had a million texts and emails saying, "Have you watched it? Watch this, Dave," and I still haven't. Sorry, everyone, but I will catch
Philip
up
Schofield grabbed my ass.
and see what Mark and Philip and
David Jeremitas. Amazing story.
I nearly said Fern then. That's how old I am. It's Holly, isn't it? Willoughby.
Fern, it's Fern
it's not Fern.
Cotton.
Wow,
Jesus.
good lord.
No, old Fern Cotton.
No, the other Fern, not Fern Cotton. It was
I know you're talking about.
Fern from Britain, yeah, was that it? That was it. No,
Bloody hell, Dave.
Sorry, it's old. I'm
You
older.
must have been about 8 or 9 when she was on, you weirdo.
Let's go to the room. Has anybody got any questions?
In room. Let's have a look in room. Look in a little bit. Barry Manilow, what's that all about, Fly? Don't ask, Kev. I'd say don't ask that question. What's that all about, Fly? Fucking hell. Start asking what's the meaning of life, isn't it? Yeah, Jerry, you're right. Ships in the night, mate. Maybe one day we'll collide. We won't have cameras on. Anyway, oh look, yeah, can you see me? Right, I've been there. Yeah, Fly, we know what a person is. Corp, oration, Fly. Corp, dead, oration, talk. There you go. Dead talk. That's what they hear. So, go speak to them if you want to get a large one in your pipe. Go right ahead. Oh, it's all gone wrong. I've lent on telecontrols and things have all gone mental. I don't know what to do. We
seem to have got some knowledgeable high IQ chat member, scriber Steve R. We can talk about our simulation. What would you like to? Let's give Steve's coming. He's new, and
I've seen him
got
before.
A voice.
I'm sure.
Well, yeah, but he's new to the chat, and he's obviously in grey for a reason. You know, he's new in that respect. I've seen him around before. Yeah, I've just said I remember comments, but I want to know if I just said is you've got some questions, and there is no questions. Honeycomb, hello there. That was new as well, and they've said hello, and I missed them. Mr. Dav 991. Easy now. What's going on here? The One People's Public Trust. That was John Harris or something. Was it not something to do with that? Or Bernicia?
Oh, he's not there. He must be the other way then.
Yeah, unless I want to give Steve a chance to ask questions or say what he wants to say.
Yeah, come on in, Steve.
Anybody else? Yeah, likewise, questions,
what you got?
Feedback.
What you got? We don't really
simulation. He said, can we talk? I can offer fragmented, pixelated universe that we have with light, matter, electromagneto, and some of the stuff that...
Steve, I don't know if I want to live forever in this realm.
And that was to Fly. He was talking to Fly on. I've read the comments. Him and Fly were having a chat about something, and that was in reference to our Fly up there.
Loose cannon. Yeah. Well, what have you been charged with now?
You ask a question, Steve.
Down the high street.
You're speaking.
Sorry, you haven't been streaking down the high street again, mate. Have you? Jesus. Can't help you if you keep getting the old fella out, mate. You know, literally, you are on your own, small as it is.
You ask a question, Steve, and then we have a chat, and we use the master brain, and you ask it to I or Kev, and then you said you asked a question, and I thought you wanted to ask it now, saying how can I talk about simulation above? So I didn't want to be rude, and yes, I just said that you can ask your question, or we can talk about simulation if it's to do with consciousness. That's Awoken. Then it ties in with the theme of the thumbnail, and everything is a lie, as we are. So you're in the room and in the fam. You speak with us as everyone else is now. It's live and direct, off the cuff.
I like Pie Man's comment, which in my time and space at this moment is the last comment on the feed, which says, I stumbled across an etymological oxymoron, comma, in divide you all, love it, would like to, yes. Come on, don't stop there. What are you doing? Let's have it. Well, Jerry's left, has he? Jesus Christ, what's going on with my feed?
Yeah, he's put a comment. He hasn't said he's leaving. Must go.
Pie Man's just said bye, Jerry. So says they've had a secret falling out in another life.
Yeah, he's gone. Must go, folks. Catch up soon. Blessings all, he says.
Well, Jerry, mate, I'll speak to you soon, brother.
He's got a comment above. Judge said entering the home on such circumstances did not fall under the power to enter. So we have discussed powers to enter and what those powers would be, what kind of instruments those powers would be displayed on. And then if you have a debt collector at the door and they're saying they've got a warrant to entry, but they're yet knocking to come in, and when you open the door, they put their foot in the door or something, they try to force, that's not allowed. They're not allowed to barge. They've got to get peaceful entry. And then once they're in, or at the door, they should provide copies of...
There's nothing peaceful about these cunts. Excuse me for using that word.
You've just
but that is what they are. There is nothing peaceful about them. None of them that knock on your door and go, hello, good morning, how are you today? Isn't it lovely?
Oh yeah, so listen.
Dave.
So Jerry is saying that the judge has said that's good, as I've said at the beginning of the video. We're not here to besmirch and badmouth every officer in public office, or trustee or whatever.
No,
that's
we're not doing all of it.
He said the judge has ruled that entering the home, whatever he's on about, on such circumstances, did not fall under the powers to enter. So that's a positive. Remark from a road. Yeah, that's
but
a
look
good
how
thing.
far you have to go. Do you know what I mean? That hasn't been an instant fucking, oh yeah, you're right, they shouldn't have been there. That's taken some time to get there. That's what fucks you off. The rules are, but look at the fight you have to give to get that sort of fucking recognition. It's ridiculous.
Yes, we can't take
that's
a break.
what I'm saying.
Moving on, back in the room, 3, 2, 1.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, look into the room, don't look around the room, look at me, alright, here we go, bosh.
I'm going to read into Dave talking over me as shut the fuck up. Take it and run, Kev, take it and run.
Steve, if it's too much to type, then what I suggest you may consider is, as we're on Tube and you've got a channel, make a video and chirp in front of it vid, and then send me the link or put it, private, public, whatever, and then explain it that way. If you've got a channel and you're on here and you're chatting, then what you do is you do a video, either public or private, put your thoughts and feelings down. It's often easier just to chat it out rather than writing it. And if you've got any works and studies, you could email them. David at splspro.com is where you send my primary email contact. So I'll get that there and reply to you within a week to 2 weeks, probably a week. And a week.
Yeah,
I'm on now.
A minimum of a week.
I'm getting better and better on my more on point. So yeah, I will liaise that way, or I don't know other than that. Ewok, you are, yes. Putting foot in the doorway voids the levy. It's not peaceful entry. It's not entry on the grounds of. Hello, what's he saying? My screen's just gone weird way. It's all gone blank.
Look, my mate Ewok's in the house.
Yeah.
Chris, mate, how are you? Just a minute. Honeycomb Bear, good evening to you. I don't think I've missed it. I think I've said hello to everybody else so far this evening. I will go back through in a minute and check that's correct, but I'm pretty sure, and I've spoken to Pie Man, Anders.
Anders, and his commentary there about a calm, and he's just trying to link into the Schumann resonance that I must be linked into, or some kind of frequency, as we are resonant beings of, light and electro, as we are.
Can I just say something?
Yeah, go on.
Anders, I was listening to the broadcast with Dave the other day, and that really was fired up, should I say? Just as a backseat passenger, I was listening, but with the GANs, yes.
A horror master and
sorry, I'm just trying to get it right.
GANs. Gas in a
mate. That was you're right. This is the calm and grounded David, comparatively. But yeah, listening to you guys the other night and all that was really interesting. I've got to be honest, I didn't listen to all of it, but I was really quite getting into it, so I will finish that one off. But yeah, fair play to all of you on that one. That was
a man with real education, a real scientist of radio, educated in radio, worked for many.
It's nice, it's not just look, I read some stuff in the Sun. Sorry, that's an English thing. Yeah, I found it on the internet. Actually.
And he will understand.
Before all that, this is what I know.
He will understand.
Fair play.
The resonance. We are beings of frequency. Resonant beings of frequency. He's got ideas of atomic nature, and he put it away. He was concerned about his English strength, but I think the broken English, it wasn't a problem. The audio quality was good. The subject mattered, and we didn't stray from the pathway there. And it
was really. I really enjoyed it. I say I didn't watch all of it. But I was trapped in there for a while with that. Hang on, just a bit more, just a bit more, just a bit more, just a bit more, and then I had to duck out. But really interesting. Really enjoyed that. It was really refreshing for me. Something that completely new to me, to be honest. This GANs thing. So that's what I was particularly listening to.
Well, he's declared on my channel that this technology will kill any virus, and I had to stop him and say, "Excuse me, in the media we've got coronavirus kicking around. Is that going to be effective on that virus there?" And he said, "It doesn't matter.
I was going to jump in with the Beck stuff.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what virus it is." He said there is an electro field. Hang on, what did he say? He said there's a magnetic field, because I'm thinking magneto field of GANs and atoms that would take in the energy from surrounding. And he explained on how cells break down. He didn't just explain his technology. He explained that he understood the biochemistry of a cellular and an attack. He's quite well versed. I am not licensed or accredited or affiliated with any medical council and as well, but this man, he's got a line of work there with science and power and energy and technology. And then he explains that if you haven't got that force, you'd have the gravitational. So there's a magnetic and a gravitational. One pushes out, one sucks in. And he says, and he used them in a simple, very basic, simple science of alchemy, physics of life. And I'm like, so that'll kill any virus, and governments know about this technology is quite old, and just bowled me over, mate. I was like, do you want me to just stop and just repeat that then?
Can I just throw something in there to Anders and what was the other guy's name?
A horror master.
Thank you.
A horror. I know you want to say it. A horror.
Yeah, I only normally say that when I'm giving my credit card number. No. I did. Right, okay. A horror. A horror. How's that? No, now you've made me go off on a weird one, tangent. I forgot what I was going to say. I was going to say something to Anders then. That was particularly, and you've ruined it, Dave. Thank you. That's it. My life's over. That's it.
Talking about viruses and the GANs and the vibration, magneto, electro,
Thank you very much,
gravitational.
Dave. You're a fucking
Go on.
star, Dave. That's what you are. You are a star.
I am hosting. I do know where we're
Star
going.
of my life. That's what you are.
Thank you.
Anyway, no, made me forget again.
Oh wow. Gravitational, magnetic GANs, viruses.
Viruses. Bob Beck's. Right. Anders, what do you think? Have you looked at the Bob Beck stuff with the
Silver water, colloidal
blood electrification and the colloidal silver and that sort of thing? I'm probably sure you have, from what I pick up from your intellect. So, any point in time, not necessarily this evening, but before 5 in the morning would be nice if you could respond. No, only joking, mate. Have you looked at that sort of thing and the claims for that? Because it sounds to me along very similar lines, but obviously from different, what should we call them?
It's microbiology and is in it a biochemistry.
Realms, should we call them physical
cellular
actions?
Cellular modulation, manipulation on the resonance, frequency, identifying.
Bearing in mind, Anders, I am a complete novice, so I'm using words that make sense to me, and I know you're all far beyond that in some of these cases, so excuse me for that, for my simpleness.
Your limited vocabulary in the medical realms of
in that realm.
It's
I
all
don't
right,
know all the big words.
We'll hold your hand. Don't you worry.
Being silver water. Sorry, I'm just looking at. Obviously, I'm reading replies now as they come in.
We've got a lot of special men in history to thank for all of this. I said we've got the Schumann resonance. I don't know if you know about the Schumann. That's not a man that did anything like Clark's with feet and shoes, but yes, it's somebody else.
It wasn't Dr. Martin's great grandfather.
No. Tick tut. I get my red pen out for this one on you, Kev.
Structured water.
Schumann recognised that if you put a circle within a circle, there will be a vibrating resonant frequency, a hum of some kind, feedback loop, etc. With this, not just a circle in a circle, but if you've got the Earth and then you've got something around the Earth, like some kind of physical form, or even a stratosphere and the ozone and the seven heavens, for instance. I'm not here to argue, but the Schumann resonance has been proven that there is a frequency. If you go underground and you measure the frequency, magnetic and electro, etc., you don't find the resonance. This is in a hertz, an output. So the Earth has a pulse. Tesla found out about some of this stuff, and it's about 7.83. That Schumann resonance and harmonics.
Dave,
yes,
Dave,
brother.
I need to say something. I'm sorry.
It better not be about Schumann.
It's got nothing to do with Schumann. It's got something to do with somebody that's being treated like a human, but not a Schumann. Right. And it is one of our favourite brothers on the show. Let me introduce Mr. Christopher Ewok Craven.
All right.
And he says he's been told if I don't attend a UC assessment, I will be sanctioned. And I've got to bring this up because here's the hilarious part. Mr. Ewok is receiving exactly a fuck all. So if he doesn't attend, they're going to sanction him, so he receives exactly a fuck all. I mean, what are these people like? This is what you're dealing with, people. They're going to sanction somebody that isn't even getting anything. For fuck's sake, listen to this nonsense, people. Oh. Chris, mate, how are you? Kev's here. You know I'm there, and we're trying to save you, boy. We will in the end.
So that by performing...
Chris, I tell you what, Chris, right, sorry, Chris just made another comment. He says, true, so I'll get less than fuck all. But Chris, at least, mate, what you can say is, please don't make any deductions from my fuck all. Right back to them. Please Do not make any because that would put me into the hardship of from the fuck all that you're giving me in the first place. You absolute fucking bellends.
All right then. Take a breath.
No. I'm not being funny.
Yeah.
If I was Chris, with what he's been through, we've done all the nice stuff. Now is what these would be the letters I'm sending.
Yeah, so in the form of Bellend, I would listen. Take a breath. In the form of Bellend, what I'd put there, you've used the word hardship. They've put him into hardship, much like the Guardian ship. It's a ship that we don't like. We despise it. It wears the skull and bones at the top of it. So, if you say to me hardship, I say to you harm. Injury has been sustained. So by their actions and the lack of, and by holding back, if you've reset and done work, if the hardship comes in, then that's harm, that's injury.
Yeah, don't forget, it's got to go back deeper than that.
Yeah, go on.
Because they're not who they have told you they are.
Yeah, I know, Kev. I'm just saying that you're getting passionate.
I know, but
quite rightly so.
This is how deep it goes.
Yeah, I know.
It goes back even further than this very basic shit. This is the reality of it. These people aren't even who they're pretending to be.
Hello, all is. I see you in the house and
so pull them up from the fucking off, not just from point C. Pull them up at point A, as well as C and B, and as you're walking by, E, F, and G.
Yeah, you've got more than enough ammunition in the closet there to get the job done and to. Instruments to pick at, choose at, like out your cabinet of choice there, your scrolls and stuff. So there's enough articulation, and what our strength lies in is giving them time limits and letting them know. And once you've waded in and done what you've done and set the parameters, we have pre-action protocols like they do. So we just set the time, and if they fail to act, then we call out what you said earlier. When we're using their own word systems and laws and things against them, we would say that they've tacitly acquiesced and that it now stands, and we have to push them to the point of becoming the litigant in person. Now, this is an area that is quite fresh and new. We are pioneering, because never before, very rarely, I will retract that. Very rarely before has man had the privilege of getting up to the point of looking at litigating some officers, generals and secretaries for a list as long as my arm successfully. And never before has there been so much evidence of what you're claiming happening in the public arena bestowed on a plate for you. So we've got case law, we've got evidences, and you've got the power and the tools. Yeah. So it's just
what we're saying.
The tools there, Kev, for Chris would be the pre-actions opposite to what we use.
Yeah, everything David's saying, he's absolutely spot on. But this shit is not hidden from any of us. It's a matter of public record. This is why what we use is unrebuttable. If they rebut it, they're fucked. If they don't rebut it, they're fucked. And it is unrebuttable. That's the important. We remain with clean hands, in honour, pointing out facts. You are being deceived from the off that the Department of Work and Pensions is a government department, and that's why you must conform, because it's the government speaking to you. No, it fucking isn't. It's a private company.
Oh, Kevin, right?
No, this is what it's about.
Yeah.
Listen, if it was the government, you go, well, I understand why you're complete cunts. But this is a private company who you have no contract with, who aren't telling you that. So that's deception. Right? That's deceiving you, because they still send you the brown envelope paperwork. Her Majesty's, no, fuck all to do with Her Majesty's anything. So the deception starts from the off, and this is what they rely on. Your ignorance.
So we've got
your belief.
So you've got
brown letters coming from a government department when it's coming from a private company. And the fact is, if you just bother to do a couple of easy searches, there they are, registered.
So to cut to the chase, then, once Boris has done his little cabinet reshuffles there and appointed the correct generals
But
and
who's he reshuffled what for, Dave?
and
Let's be honest.
appointed the correct generals and yes, here, sustained. The correct generals and secretaries
Upheld.
in the right places for the next 4 years of warfare and war with the K. Then yeah, we will look at the new heads there in place, principal secretaries generals, and then right honourables. And we'll see what go on, and let them know. Like I've given nudges before to Heather. I think it was somebody, Steve Barclay, Heather Mc somebody, was it? I can't think now. Steve Barclay.
Don't ask me. Steve Bartley rings a bell.
Loads of names now. I can't think of them all, but yeah,
Oh,
you have to let them know.
Hell, how many names do we go through in this?
Yeah, this is it.
In different situations with different. Oh, fucking hell.
So the point is, they are obliged, and they are the ones that appoint. Where you've said you hit the nail on the head. Where we've got the corpses in position, sometimes with an offshore. Business location operating in the UK financially. It's amazing. I'm not saying this is a DWP, but things go off in this country with contracts. It's just purely amazing. But if they're not the government and they are the corporation that we say they are, and you can find all this out for yourselves, and you don't believe me and Kev, then they have been put into place by an office for the UK, and that office for the UK is where you'd go and say these agents and executives and officers in general, a notice agent, notice principal. When we speak to the telephone operative for we'll say Atos or somebody, then you're speaking to the telephone operative Atos. Then you also, when you notice them, then you are simultaneously noticing the executive officer at Atos, but you can also notice the executive officer at Atos, but simultaneously notice the principal trustee of the UK government, of which has put that company in place. It's because that company's trusted to run business, you see. Yeah.
This cunt's the one in charge.
Stop saying the C word. Why are you saying the C word? Yeah.
Because they are cunts.
Stop it.
Right?
I apologise if anyone is offended. I have to be careful. I get warnings. They're trying to shut my channel game. No, they're trying to shut the channel down, and if you keep giving them reason to, with that word, is all I'm saying. We won't be able to come on and chat with the folk because we'll be gone. That's
these
it.
Absolute people from Kent.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
I apologise. I think I might have had a little bit of Jack Daniels earlier, and it might have made me pronounce a word wrongly in the last minute or so. So I do apologise for that. The word I was trying to say was Kents. So these absolute Kents from Kent, really. They make my scrotum irritate. That's what they do. They actually make
You've lost your train of thought, haven't you? I was on about the principal of a company and a corporation, and go on. Yeah, and the trustee, the principals are giving them the trust to run, but are they failing to run as directed, or are they doing as they're told? Which is it now? Because when somebody is killed outside, we have common law murder, we have manslaughter. If you're driving recklessly or travelling in your pleasure craft, Iron Horse, and you happen to be texting at the same time, and you clip Kev on the way home with his kebab after his Jack Daniels and he's now dead, then you have to deal with that. But if you were in an office and you fail to pay Kev his money and you piss him about and he dies out of malnutrition, depression, suicide, whatever, an amalgamation of all, and he leaves a suicide note saying that he did that because he had no money, he didn't feel for his life, blah blah blah, like people are doing, then nobody goes to the office and says, "Now then, John, because you didn't pay Kev, he's gone, and we need to speak to you about this death." Where's that link? Help me. Let's focus on that if we're going to get angry.
That's where we're going. But you're absolutely right. Where is that? Where the fuck is that? With real, it's just so backwards. Everything's just so Oh my! It's
And if it's not the government, and if it's not the government, and it is a company, that's even worse because that's just a company,
Yeah.
not the government.
Because this, look at what happens when you phone. For instance, should we say our department of people that are rather wanky in that way? Oh, my name's so and so. What's your surname? Well, I'm not prepared to tell you that, but I want your date of birth, your fucking national insurance number, your address, your full name. Come on! Just think about what's going on. It's mental.
And when you're in a big shop, you're right, but just because the word department for work and pensions, when you're in a...
Hey, but look at Her Majesty's. Her Majesty's Revenue and Custom. Oh my God. It's a fucking private business.
No, but yes, I know. We know.
Her Majesty's Kevin Phillips Revenue Collection Officers.
Yes, and it's not the Queen.
Could I not?
Yes. This is semantics.
And then I'll send
Wait.
Kevin Phillips's Her Majesty's Kevin Phillips Revenue Collectors Officers round to your house to come and get something off you because you owe it to Her Majesty's Kevin Phillips Revenue Officers.
Semantics is being in the words plays and things that go off and
that's what they do, isn't it?
Yeah.
What I'm saying, I know I'm trying to play it down a bit, but actually if you think about it, that's exactly what they've done.
Now let me say what I was going to say. When you have a big department store and it has different departments, doesn't it? And you've just said the Department for Work and Pensions. So those that are struggling to still grasp that this corporative, legislative, legal, semantic, assumptive, presumptive, credit, debt-based system is not real. The department for, where do you get departments? We get them in a shop. What's a shop? It's a commercial, buying and selling and giving. Come on.
Depart.
Yeah, that's the one.
You imagine going to, see, now if it was cars, you would go to a car part store. So what's a depart meant, which we know is mind? So a not depart.
Compartment, depart. Yeah, D is of, isn't it?
Is that
of.
something leaving the mind to go to the shop?
No, but D is also of. It depends which. You can't just say. This is the problem that we face with Latin and things like that. And I often say, someone said to me, no, cana is not Spanish for dog, and I'm like, canine. You get the word from, but you need to go into it. You don't just take me on the literalist bits, or Kev, or whoever you're watching at the time. But there is things that I don't explain sometimes to get to the point. But I just think that everybody knows, and it does offer confusion. But D,
that's the trouble. We assume everybody knows where we're at.
D is assumed to be, many things, different things by different people. I bet in the room now, if I ask what does DE stand for, and it can be, so of. Or from D, DE, what did you just say? What did you just say it was?
Say that again.
Department, you just explained it as, what would it be? Not from, not...
D would be not, wouldn't
not,
it?
Yeah,
or removed from, if you deregister, and you unregister, so D would be un.
Yeah.
Part, I'm not sure, but meant is mind.
Yeah, D, no, in is not, in is equals no, D equals no, this is it, departed. Yeah, so when you depart, what do you do? D-mind, so remove from the mind, or in fact, maybe it's the opposite, plant in the mind, maybe, because it's probably an opposite. Oh, fucking hell, here we go. This is going to be a fucking night to remember, isn't it? Not part of mine, that'd be it, yeah.
You're doing this on purpose, Dave, aren't you? You're kicking me up.
It's either not or of, yeah, it could be, I'd say it could be not, primarily not, yes, D, no. Defence, we have it, because listen.
Like, not mind.
We have
so what's part?
We have defence and defend, to fend, so if you have to, listen to me.
Hang on. Part
God,
A,
you're hard work when you've had a drink.
Shut up. Part, no, you always win. You're not winning tonight. Get back. Part, right, so we've got D, we've got part, we've got men. So we're going with D and we're going with men. We got them. So part, what about putting an E on the end of part?
Don't anybody give Kevin Eve, please,
In
God.
Latin,
Turn into
parte,
Bez.
parte, D, parte, mind.
Yeah.
So remove the person from
YouTube.
mind.
Yeah, that's right.
YouTube.
Get him
Ruin
on.
that.
Remove Kev from the cast.
Yeah, remove Kev from life. From my life, for God's sake.
Let's have a look at the room. No, that's
Sorry, I was trying to
different.
go in one there and he just ridiculed me. That's it. You've belittled me enough.
That was brilliant. We love that. Now you can have as many chances as you like. It's a two-way.
Yeah. And you're going to tell me I'm full of shit on all of them.
Just don't say that. Yeah, no, that was good. You've got your interpretation, and it's much valued. You are.
Well, that's what I see right off the bat in my head, without going mentally into it for hours. Department, but part, the only thing I can see that would make any sense to the word would be adding an E. And I'm sure part E or part A in Latin has a meaning, but I can't tell you what it is without picking up more technology, and I don't have trouble as it is.
This
So
is
there
the
you go.
problem with the Anglo, the language that
Talk
we.
about honest.
The language and the semantics, there's a structure to a sentence, but you also have structures of buildings outside. You see, you have a 3D structure, you have a structure with your syntactic tactics as well. And it's just amazing the way that this language, it's no wonder this little landmass has managed to, through its paperwork and contracts and, a man's born, the lady, mum, is gone into hospital with contractions, or she goes into labour at home with the contractions at the first sign, but they're not. But nature hasn't named them contractions; they're just pulses of it, because we all pulse. The mum's belly starts to pulse, with the electro, sensations, and she knows things are happening. The womb and the baby are getting ready. So what has man done? Man's written it in the Babel codex of present, which happened to be English, and that English is called contractions. So the midwife. What do you mean a my mum and dad are married, and then this woman comes along in hospital while I'm in the tummy trying to get off with my dad, because she's the midwife, and I can hear through the tummy wall this woman's name being mentioned. I'm like, midwife? No, there's my mum and my dad, and that's his wife, and that's my mum, and you're a what? You're a midwife. So these words are chosen by choice.
A midwife? What?
God Lord.
Midwife, so what? I've just got in between you and your husband.
While you're up
I'm the
here.
midwife.
Yeah, while you're incapacitated, I'll
While you're
service.
there with a broken minge,
What's going on?
I'm going to serve him up.
What's going on, Kev? You see what I mean? It's no, I'm just saying the language of the words, not so much the graphic detail of the imagery. Thank you for that. But,
Sorry, you come to the wrong place if you didn't want graphics. That's
he
what
is
I do.
the Nintendo of
Plunge.
no, I was going to say descriptive words.
The Nintendo of descriptive words. I love it. That's going to be on my gravestone. He was the Nintendo of descriptive words.
Well, you're lucky I didn't go for the etch a sketch. At first, I was going to go. I was going.
It would have been even better. It would have been even more appropriate to my age.
Technology-wise, LCD.
He was the etch a sketch.
First, it was LCD Game and Watch, and then I went Texas.
That's fucking brilliant, Dave.
Thank you.
That's one of the best things. I'm glad this has been recorded. I can laugh at this. The etch a sketch.
Moving on.
So
Moving on.
70s, man, I'm right there. I was there.
Right, now let's leave that place and get back in room 321. Eyes back in the room.
Go.
Back in
Into
room.
the age I just don't understand.
Look at the scribes and say hello to the room and help me read the room. I need to read the room.
Right, okay, I've been in there for ages. Don't blame me.
Yeah.
Fly started crying earlier last time I had a look. I don't know what he's crying about.
Masonic, Sonic, as in Masonic, he says. He's got it bang on there.
He's got, look, see, look, tears in my eyes, lot. What's that? We don't, please try and speak English. Why can't I go back in the penis room, chat room, sorry. I can't go backwards, I can only go forwards and there's fuck all else. What's pious? Matthew John. So thoughts on new legislation, the health protection, yeah, right. It's bollocks, it's bullshit, it's bollocks, it's if you actually look at facts and figures, and Matthew, before I go on, I am not saying that you're, in any way am I saying you're backing up any facts and figures or going down the wrong road. I'm just having a bit of a spout about my thoughts. So please, I'm not lumping you under this banner, but it's bullshit, mate. Listen, it's well under even normal flu death numbers. It's a load of shit.
Yes, so moving on. Yes, let's not dwell on that. Yes, moving on. Thank you, Kev. You're going to thank me tomorrow when you watch this back. Trust me. You'll be like, Dave, you're such a brother. You're such a wingman. You're such a wingman, Dave.
Dave, a few years ago, and I don't want to get personal, but I lost my mother. But I really feel that you stepped into that role and really changed my life.
Simon of the Rider. I'm going to come to London tomorrow and Kent you all over the Kent. Right. Simon, arrivals, births, departures, death, airport, airport, create a partition. Create a partition of the mind, departments, yes, and there's a terminal.
Airport 1977.
He's put a comment on, Kev, with various words on related to where we were. Simon, up above in the chat room.
Simon.
Calm down, take a chill pill, maybe you need a cigarette. I think you might need a fag.
Just because I'm old, there's no need to fucking take the piss.
Listen, old man, I'm a daddy now.
What actually happens is, people, me and Dave go through this routine, right? And then in the morning he phones me up and he explains to me what happened the night before. And then next week it makes a little bit more sense when we start off, because I pretend to know what happened. It wasn't Dave.
Yeah, Simon has put some good words up there related to. You have to find it. Let me speak.
I can't go back.
Stop rabbling. Well, there you've lost out. You're going to have to listen to me. You're going to have to let me speak.
You've lost out. That's it.
No.
You've lost out.
If you let me,
back the fuck up, man.
If you let me speak, then I will tell you the words what he said. If you listen.
Never shut up, you fucking twat. Let you speak.
Oh, it's hard. I think.
After you, Dave, carry on, please, with my blessing.
1,000 thanks. Simon missed out just one word there, which is the terminal. We have a terminal. We have an X in the LAX and BHX and stuff. We have a letter X in those places, but bang on with the, the similar languages with the airport, death, arrival, birth, departure. And it was all about the department. It was on from where we was chatting there, Kev.
Oh, right, we're back there. Right, I've got it. I know where we are now.
There's so many good comments. If you could see the chat room, we have created
I can see the chat room, but
you can't go
only
up.
go back so far.
Yeah.
It's just let me go back so far.
Yeah, it's because I'm on the laptop. I've got the privy of on the laptop, Kev.
Yeah.
Turn your laptop on. You have got a laptop there, brother, I believe.
Even when we've rented rooms together, he's always been in control.
You're so gonna get a dead leg virtually.
Yeah, that's what we call it. That's code word for one in the arse, people.
What's he saying? Andy 123. Hello.
Welders, what?
Dropped in. Andy 123. I've just seen dropped in. Someone called Benjamin.
Oh look. The last one I've got from Andy 123 is
Crossland. Hello.
It's crypto. Flies getting aroused now.
What if I told you the birth certificate is actually a death certificate for the afterbirth?
Am I pretending?
Pardon, Kev?
Lisa's put. But are you pretending, Kevin?
Easily.
No. Well played, girl, but no, unfortunately, I'm not. I am this much of an idiot.
All is, I can confirm. All is, oh, Tom, she said, what if I told you the birth certificate is actually a death certificate for the afterbirth? I would say,
Been there.
yeah, that's what we would say it as well. That's the
That's
person.
brilliant. Well played. Well played and well done.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Fair play for that discovery. Cannot, applaud you enough for that, but we have not taken anything away from that. But if that's the road you're going down, then welcome to the path.
Man is not registered. It is an event. No man can be registered. That certification that's given back is you are the title holder in due course of the. And when somebody has a certificate, that proves some kind of ownership there. You've got a certificate, you can cash that in, where is that? Oh, yeah. We need
sole shareholder.
Yeah, you've got that,
sole agent in office.
Insurance policy, the Santa
representative.
The Santa Claus.
Although I wouldn't use I would probably use the word sole presentative, because you are a soul. You can't represent a soul. You either are the soul or you're dead.
No, but you are either sometimes you are sometimes in a representative capacity of under liability, or sometimes you are.
But you could change. All I'm saying is, Dave, you're absolutely right. I'm not challenging any of those words you said. You're right, but a slight contention from me would be you wouldn't.
Objection.
I think exactly as powerful as the words you've used is, you should be the presentative.
That's right. You can be in some cases. Yeah, you should be.
So that's what I'm saying.
I agree.
All I'm saying is the words are great, and I'm not taking nothing away from it. Just take the re out of it. If you are the flesh and blood standing there, you're not representing anything. You're presenting it.
Yes, Kev. Yes, you are. That's
if
right.
you're claiming the name, then your foot on land can be representing the name. Right, I'll shut my face. We've had the fight, and that's it, Dave.
Fight? There was no fight. There was no
flowers I sent you on Valentine's Day back. You fucking tart. I'm not having it.
You don't mean those words. I know you.
No, I know. I'll kiss you afterwards when we're not on air.
You don't ever call me bastard.
I've got to. Oh no, I'm going to keep that. I must remember that at the end. Sorry, just remember something I wrote down.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, Riley. Family name, Irish. I just wrote something down. Just when it comes to us closing down. That's all it is. So it's got fuck all to do with what's going on right now. I just suddenly remembered that I tried to be clever, possibly funny, and write something.
While we've been talking about, all right, then hold that thought, pin it. While we've been talking about babies and birth certificates, I've got something that I wrote down in my memory, then the records of the halls of Amente, and they've just slapped me in the face as you've said that. So while we're not there yet, and you're building it up and getting it ready, wow, I've presented something there, haven't I? I would like to say, Kali, the Indian god, the dance of Kali that Jackson's done, and Dumbo. Jackson did it for Dumbo in the film, in the animation.
My name as well,
Kali, Kali, and the dance of Kali. Indiana Jones in the Temple of Doom, where
Yeah.
he put in that cage and that man gets his heart and he's saying,
Yeah.
Kalima Shaktike. And I didn't like that as a young man. I thought, why did I see that? He didn't need to rip his heart out and put him in the pit of fire. But, it's what makes you stronger, I suppose. So Kalima, I remember that man explicitly saying Kali. And then you've got these spirits and gods going back. The more you look at Lovecraft and different men that have written Necronomicon, yeah, and other such literature.
Necronomicon was...
Necronomicon, that's it there, not Comic-Con.
Necronomicon
that's
was
it.
Lovecraft.
There we go, and Crowleys and Halls and the things that I've dipped into. And I've seen there's an occult dark side, all right. And I've seen there's a Babylonian type and the Baphomet, and these I've gone deep and dark, or I've gone places I wish I hadn't, to be fair. But I've gone in, I've come out pretty much unscathed. And Carly, interesting, all right. But then you go with the fornicator. And to fornicate, to make, fertilize a lady in inception, and conception, as we've brought with the Zygote and brother there from Crow's Chat, Curtis, I remember him. So Cali and fornication. So Californication would be...
Oh, one of my favourite albums.
Hey, and just this word of the day, and I didn't
and
really...
that's really weird, Dave.
I didn't really...
Dave.
Californication.
Dave, you're not going to realise how fucking weird...
Go on, then.
You know who did the album Californication?
Red Hot Chili Peppers, yeah.
Right. You're not going to fucking believe...
Am I going to fly
where
away?
I was coming from. No, listen to me. That is so fucking weird, because I thought I was coming out of left field with my little prayer I'm going to say when we say good night.
Yeah. All right.
And you
going
down Californication is just fucking incredible.
Well,
that's all I'm going to say at the moment.
Well, I can add to that incredibleness. Thank you.
Oh my God!
Thank you. Thank the universe.
Don't send me another dick pic.
Thank the universe. I'm so gonna get you when I see you physically in life. Everyone, scribes know this. Declaration forward of in time. Mark this day. I'm gonna get you, Kev. That's all it says.
Yeah. Listen. Last time I met you, when we come up to Birmingham, mate, you rubbed yourself up against me enough that day.
That was a trip along the stairs, and you know it. So, what happens here is the universe gave me Californication theory, etymological breakdown.
Mental.
Wait, let me finish, please. I know. So, what I'm trying to say to you, it's such so.
Shut up.
I was washing the pots when that was delivered to me by the universe, minding my own business on my own with nothing to think about. I don't know what you souls may think about as you're doing mundane tasks on your own. The family's running around getting changed and whatnot, and you're on, doing the solitary work there of, equivalent washing the pots. It's not that bad, but I have moments sometimes. There's that many to do, hours and hours of pot washing here. And that came in, Californication. So it wasn't like through a book or a dictionary. That's what I mean. My brain.
Really
sometimes it'll go.
I'm going earlier than that, though.
Go on then. So I just wanted to add that, Kev. I didn't get it through any line of discovery and like ancient things, because there's that much crap in here.
I'm still gonna leave my shit till this is over. But that was just amazing that you took that down the Californication Chili Peppers route. That was just so spooky, and you'll realise why later. That is being left till later because it's not appropriate now. But that, Dave, was just incredible to me. I can't believe
it was the goat head of all things. The god of all things.
I can't believe that of all the places you could have gone, you ended up there.
Well, after all the places you've implied legally on this public cast that I have gone, I'm going to sue your ass in the forthcoming days now after this.
Bring it on, boy.
The claims that you've made on this.
Bring it on.
Surprised where I've been. You've claimed I've been everywhere on this cast, and I've got the witnesses to prove it.
Fuck all of you.
Bless you. Thank you.
No, sweet.
It is 12:30 though. Let's all the shits and giggles that we're having here. I want to know.
But isn't it nice to have a bit of a giggle and a laugh?
We have got 32 watching. You haven't scared anybody away, and I've not annoyed anybody.
I must try harder. Note to self.
Yeah.
Must try harder. No, look, sorry, people. It's just really weird. I wrote something down to say at the end of our broadcast this evening, whenever that might be, and then Dave's just gone down a road that has just connected those two things. It's just mental. I can't believe the last things I'd ever thought would be connected are just like, how the fuck?
Oh, yeah. Well, it's the universe and it works in many mysterious ways.
That's
we don't set shit up.
I've written down something that's really obsolete, unless you know, okay, that I'm going to say. I'm going to make a bit of a joke of it.
Yeah.
But then you've done something that's just gone... No, it's just like, of all the things I could have picked, how has he just suddenly jumped in and connected that?
It must be the chain that Anders has given me, this resonant frequency vibration with the Schumann resonance or whatever this H, zinc and copper.
He's in it.
What's going on now?
Junkies, we're all on it already, Anders. It's all your fault that
I don't even know if it is Gans. I've taken him on trust face value. It could be anything active element in here that he's given me. It could be a pet project of his. Who knows? Sweden. Bless. Has anyone got any comments from that interview that I did with a horror master and Anders there? Thank you, Anders. You're such a lovely man. The way that you present and I like your words that you use sometimes. It makes me smile in my heart. He's English. Anders is English. It's strong. And it's cute, if I may say that, in light of what I've been claimed of with Kev tonight.
Shut up!
He's got an excellent
way. Don't blame me for your faults. Benjamin Crossland. So you've got a few comments in there, Ben, mate. But one that's just jumped out at me is secret ingredient has always been love. I absolutely fucking respect that, and you're absolutely right. This is what it's always.
Oh, he's going to cry here. That's where Kev cries.
Yeah. Okay. I'll be back in a minute. No, I mean that. It's nice. It's nice to see people with that sort of heart that they appreciate. That is what it's all about. We all stop going left, right, fucking middle, green, all the rest of it, and ignored all that bollocks and came together with love for the planet and each other, everything would change so fast.
In my head,
absolutely.
I've got the farm all together now in no man's land.
All together now, together.
All together. Thank you.
Got it. I was rocking out to just before we came back, came on to do this. Actually, I was rocking out to, and that was your fault as well. Which actually, that's a third connection to what's going on. You made me think of Sir Psycho Sexy.
Oh yeah.
The Chili Peppers track. So before we hooked up, before this broadcast, not the first broadcast, this broadcast, I'd just been rocking out to that outside. That was you that kicked me off of that. Yeah.
Oh, bless.
That's such a mental track. If you listen to it, really listen to it as well. And if I can just say, and not without boring anybody, but the second verse of Sir Psycho Sexy is about being pulled over by I got stopped by a lady cop in my automobile. So that has particular relevance to me because of my partner. Okay, I won't give all the words away if you haven't listened to it. Go and listen to the words, listen to the song. It's funky as fuck. It was produced by George Clinton of Parliament and P-Funk. so it's funky as hell, which is what Chili Peppers are all about. But listen to the outro. I hope you know what an outro is. You have an intro to a song, the outro with all the guitar work. It's just sublime. It's such a beautiful track, but you really need to listen to it to appreciate it. But it's one of the best tracks ever out there.
Oh, bless
Thank you.
Thank you, Kev. No problem.
Yeah, go and listen to the real musicians playing real instruments, playing music from the heart. But the outro, especially John Frusciante's on that track, playing the...
That's enough blood, sex, sugar and magic or whatever it is that's going on here. That's enough.
So Psycho Sexy starts off mental and funky and just moves into this absolute flow of peace and beautiful. Oh, second to nobody.
We have a question. We've got a question. Whoop, whoop, question buzzer. Whoop, whoop. Kev,
okay.
Sit up.
I'm sitting up listening. Where's the question?
Oh, right. Ears up, eyes down.
Craig and Williams, who's that?
That's it. You've done it. That's who's asked the question. Carry on.
Oh, on an unrelated topic?
Yeah, that's the one. Yep,
on my birth certificate, I have the wrong, or watong, maybe you have a special language, which we understand. We speak all language. We have a watong woman down as giving birth to me. Your thoughts, please.
Well, what on watong?
So, listen, I wasn't taking the piss out of the post. It's just, I understand what these word things do, and I just thought I'd go with it for comedy effect. It worked on Dave, at least. Anyway, can you prove the name on the birth certificate is incorrect? Because, yes, it would make a difference, I would have thought, because their records...
It's a legal document, so the records...
Incorrect.
The statistician's records...
Can you prove the records are incorrect? Because if they are, then brilliant.
When did you...
Whoa.
Rewind, bow selector. When did you notice this, please? Just for my piece, because I'm wondering how long have you known about this, and is it because you'd want to get that changed at the first moment of noticing? So if someone's got that kind of erroneous error,
prove it.
Yeah,
it's in there, right? Great, just joined, lads. Good, fair play, mate. Funny, yeah, we're not always this funny. Or you just meant, yeah, you funny cunts. Maybe you meant that, yeah, which in case you were right as well, Craig. You can prove it, okay?
You've got the registration, and the registration is governed. We've got the Registration General, the Births, Deaths and Registrars General. We've got the Registration Act. We've got loads of governance and covenants for that, and it's just right and proper. Yeah, you get that sorted. No problem.
If you're registered incorrectly.
Not you, Manny's not registered, please. But yeah, I know what you're saying. It's just, it hurts me to hear this.
If that registration is incorrect,
yes,
and can be proven incorrect, I'm not saying it makes a difference in the legal world, shall we say.
It's a bonded document. It's a financial bonded document that's incorrect.
It's wrong, exactly. Yeah. And it's null and void. Yeah, thank you. It's that's what it is.
Yeah, we need a button. Oh my goodness.
You've been making me laugh for that for days. So I decided to get you back. Anyway, no, absolutely. Especially, if you can prove that.
It's an error. We call it an error, yeah?
The errors on, there is an
error.
An error on that.
It wasn't malicious.
You can prove it.
Yeah.
It can't be, and they're holding you to that title, then it can't. They can't, because there's an error on the document.
If it's the wrong mum, then surely you've got the wrong... Because why I'm asking, when did you realise? How long have you had the wrong surname? Well, family name assumed to be surrounding your clan and estate, known as the surname then. If you've got Mary Jane as your mum, but yet Mrs. Tobago has got on the certificate...
How come you picked Mary Jane in particular as a name?
No, it just rhymed off the tongue then. And then we've got Mary Tobago, on there instead of Jane, and you're like, now you're Louise Tobago. How long have you been known as the wrong? That's what I was thinking in my line of thought, without wanting to add
Yeah,
comedy to it. But
straight up, if you can prove that the record is wrong, the record is wrong.
you don't
It's
need.
simple as that.
Well, yeah, because you're making the claim, but this would have been done at the earliest opportunity, and then once it's done, you obviously the
But
mum.
that's any opportunity, isn't it? I mean, that could be
Yeah.
10 minutes before you die on your deathbed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I've only just realised after 100 years that I'm not. That can be done at any time.
Oh, hang on, it's the first name. Look at that, they're saying it doesn't matter which name it is, an incorrect name is a
Doesn't
calling
matter.
name
If
is
the
incorrect.
if the register is wrong, the register is wrong. But if you can prove it,
But wait,
even
just
better.
how
Whoa.
wrong? Wait, how wrong can this be? Because this is I'm not doubting the scribe here at all, Craig and Williams, is it? But
No.
but when these are done, I'm not doubting that these will make an
Right,
error.
well.
But they ask for ID there and then, and they take from that ID and they copy down what's presented in front of them. So you could theoretically argue that there may have been, he's written down the wrong name, which is fair play, and you just go and get that corrected with the
Right.
legal ID, wouldn't you? And just say it's not a complicated. Shouldn't be a complicated procedure, should it? It's just that they've got the
I'm
correct
just going back
estate.
a little bit,
Yeah,
right?
they've got the estate name. They've done the wrong
Craig,
calling name.
You've spoke to John Shackleton, and he said,
Is that Shackleton of Shackletons? Shackletons, not Shackletons. Who's John Shackleton? Sounds important.
No, I was wondering, what sort of, can I ask what sort of realm they're in? I'll tell you what that name brings to mind to me is Freeman on the Land.
Shackletons? Never heard of them, but it sounds
Well,
important.
apart from the one that Shackleton was one of the ones that went for Everest, didn't it?
Shackleton,
Anyway.
Shackleton and Smythe. Yeah, I don't know.
Sue Grabbit and Run, solicitors.
Oh,
Anyway, no, Craig, I'm being serious. When you say John Shackleton, is that Freeman on the Land stuff, or am I confusing issues here? And I'm being straight with you, mate. It's just that if it's Freeman, then it would be nice maybe for me and Dave to have a talk to you at some point about where all this is coming. Do you understand where we come from in this, in equity? That's the important thing.
Yeah, but this
to me,
just...
that is. I just that name is mentioned for some reason.
is that why it's in my head? Is that the reason why it brings a bell? I don't know. I'm just saying it sounds important.
I can't see you talking to us about previous attempts on Everest in the early 1900s. But it could be. You could go, no, I'm talking about the expedition by Shackleton to the fucking Everest village. You fucking knob. And you're going off on one about some prick that's got nothing to do with anything, Freeman on the Land. What are you talking about? No, I'm taking the piss out of myself now. Please understand that. I wasn't taking the piss out of anybody else here. I was taking the piss out of myself.
Yes, Kev.
For my understanding. Or my, at the moment, understanding. No, what I'm saying is, for some reason, Shackleton, and he said about...
They've explained it there. He's been on UK column. He's been on UK column. They understand. There's a link there.
UK column's
All is
not
good.
bad, but there's still a bit. The Constitution side is great. FM OTL is not, and I'm sorry to anybody that still thinks Freeman on the Land is valid. I'm sorry, it isn't. Believe me, we came in many years ago on that side of this argument, and we learned fairly quickly that it's not the way. they've got some very good, what's the word? Precedents for, right, they brought some great stuff in. Notice to agent, notice to principal. That's fucking invaluable, right? I'm not taking that away from them. Absolutely invaluable information those people brought in when it comes to correspondence, should we say. I'm not denying the Constitution, but the FMOTL does not stand up.
Not an Admiralty Maritime jurisdiction where you need to defend claims. Come on.
Yeah, and what we're saying is,
not
and
a
what
prayer.
we've always said is,
if you're going to
walk into that realm, if you're going to walk into that realm and you're going to suddenly go, well, actually, freeman on the land, bucking, but I don't care what you do, whether you get an auto walk out, all the rest of it. Ultimately, you're going to get a letter in the post after they fucked you off, going, we did you anyway, fuck you, right? That's fine, but don't. You know, it doesn't fucking work. It doesn't work. I'm sorry. What we do is we tackle them at their level, and I can even tell you all now from experience, it's not guaranteed because these people don't like being questioned. But the Freeman stuff doesn't work. As I say, there's certain things that they brought to the table that are really effective, especially the notice to agent, notice to principal on your letters and stuff like that. Really important, really important.
Yeah, well, what we did there is say thank you to getoutofreedebt.org and John Witterick and Justin Walker and Brian Garish and Nottingham Free Thinkers and a lot of others, Mark Ceylon and a few others, and we realised that we'd got mixed jurisdictions on the paper where you've got at the top with notice agent principle and the embodiment of trust talk and setting the parameters up for transfer, discharge and appointment of and corrections, and then you've got the 3-letter conditional acceptance process in there with it, which is where we kind of leaped on from and started to recode the codings and make sense of the civil procedure and the protocols and the action and the languages and the status, standing and capacity is where we realised that the freeman had none of them three. In the court realm, you need to have a status, or there needs to be a party privy to be recognised by the court involved in it and to be heard. You have to have either a status, standing or capacity, or you get rejected and ejected and point blank. That's how you get your foot in. So we thought, well, freeman, you don't have any of that. You are not the surety. You're demanding to see the oath. You're being vexatious. You're causing stalemate and deadlock. And it wasn't the way. It truly wasn't. So to some extent, in principle, it's absolutely bang on.
Hey.
I have a lawful right to and you do, yeah. But also that controversy now needs to be settled. So manage your estate and settle your shit. And if you can't do that, they'll do it for you. And that's go on. Sorry.
No, you're absolutely right. Yeah, manage your estate. You're absolutely coming from the right angle. I just wanted to jump in. Craig, who I was partly addressing, he says, I know freeman on the land is not true, but that's where I started. Absolutely, fella. Listen, Craig, mate, please don't take anything I've said. I wasn't criticising. I was trying to say, look, a lot of us came from that angle initially. Right? I'm not knocking you for that, mate. I'm not knocking you for that. Please don't take me. I'm not, anything
That's
like
good.
that. I'm not knocking anybody. I'm just, and I didn't assume you needed it explaining to you either.
No, that's all good. Yeah, we're all good. We're all
that's
we're
all
all
I'm
on the
saying.
same wavelength.
I'm not here trying to do you anybody any harm. I'm trying to I'm here to help people out if I can.
Yeah, and Sister Lisa's waiting in the wings for an answer as well. Thank you, Kev. That's eloquently done. Beautifully. She said something about the Gans necklaces. Let me roll up and find it. Where are we? 1 second.
Right,
Lisa,
Dave,
where have you gone? The spelling.
Lisa,
I got it. Hello, did you read the Gans spelling? Gans. Yes, Gan in a nano state, nano solid state, but there's only one S, I believe. Yeah, even though it's a gas in
Was
at
it meant to be a
Nano.
double S, is
No,
it?
no, I don't think so. That's right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Listen, people, can you just excuse me for 2 minutes? I must go and visit the vicar. It's
Enjoy.
time for me to do evening
Enjoy, Kev.
prayer.
See you. Bye. Ciao.
I'll be back in a minute.
Did I make the bracelets? No, they were sent from Sweden to this Bonnie landmass by brother Anders. And they've got a website. Anders, can you post the website link? Is it something like plasmakit.org? That might be it, Lisa. On that video, there's links what Anders will have posted for the information. And I have videos that I'll be posting tomorrow on the .com. And maybe in a video link I'll post some up there as well, so the consciousness awoken can get on with it, much like the defence of these poor little sired princesses that are in care homes under care orders, written off by the Met Office because they're under a care order. That attitude and behaviour needs to be outlawed. It needs to be overruled by mass consensus. If there's one thing on this video amongst the shits and giggles and Kev's display that we've done tonight, can we just focus again on the fact we need to let the Met Office know that under no circumstances, we could do a class action on this. I could get stuff together and do a video especially for a notice to the Met Office where we get together and we all say as a unified voice there, a common voice, invoice them, invoices that there is never to be any child, boy or girl, son or daughter, care order or no care order, they're all to be investigated, and anybody that's found to be in possession of missing little ones, young stars is what they actually are. Our young stars are being left in a society that allows its young stars to slip through the cracks. Is not a society I can be a part of. I am part of this realm. I am of this realm, but I am no part of it, and that's one of the reasons I can be no part of it. Elizabeth, Boris, Trump, and United Nations, Rockefeller skankers, Bilderbergs, Rosicrucians, Germanics, Jesuits, cabal. You can, this is enough's enough. When we get evidences such as this is why I need to reiterate. It just makes me sad, and I can only know so much and burden so much before straws and camels break, And I'd like us to be constructive. So whilst we've had a great many topics and laughs and directions, we are going to close down soon, and I want you to remember there's a serious topic there, a very serious topic, and we need to work on it as a fam. Thank you.
Hello?
What? We're still here, Kev. I've just been having having a quick reminder.
You know when you hear things through your life,
Yeah.
and suddenly they become really poignant. Well, I've just been to the toilet. The saying that you are full of shit. Well, I've just found out that's actually true.
Yeah. Oh, right. Please, we're live, Kev. We are live.
I was indeed full of shit.
You're such... Wow, you're going to... Tomorrow when you watch this...
Listen, don't tell me I don't speak from the heart.
It's full disclosure. When we say full disclosure, sometimes...
Slightly monkey.
Do never bring equity.
Because I didn't keep the toilet paper square to my palm.
Do never cross the... This is like Ghostbusters when they say never cross the streams. Never bring trust and equity into toilet talk, please. That is so bad.
Ghostbusters, you weirdo.
You've crossed the streams there of boundaries that should never...
me up on what I've brought into it, and you're going into one about Ghostbusters.
Yeah, but at least it's not potty mouth, I'm trying to lighten it. I'm skilled at what I do.
Big deal.
Structured. This sentence and conversation is structured, and I'm structuring it away from...
You lot up north that are used to living in holes underground and semi-detached prismatics in the middle of the road.
Ringo, is that you?
You know better.
You sounded like Ringo Starr.
I am.
Thomas.
Ah, that's it. You've ruined my cover. I've got to tell everybody I'm Ringo Starr again.
I was just reminding them about the sad state of orders, care orders, meaning that it did mean that then officers don't investigate. So I want us just to, amongst all of the laughs and the shits and giggles, to remember.
Hey, just a quick tangent on what you're saying, but along with you, a care order. Oh, look at this care order. Brilliant. Who's made the care order? And under what qualification and experience have they made it? It's as simple as this, people. If you don't question this shit, you will be controlled by it. And that's it. We've made a care order. Who's made a care order? Us, a private company who've actually
Big Brother.
never ever heard of before. We'll send you letters in brown envelopes to make you think we're from the government. That's what's going on.
That's proper magic, that is, Kev. That's magic at its finest.
Proper bull magic. Proper bull.
Yeah, we'll get on top of it. We do it. This is how we've got to do it. If we need to set a trust up to work in line and in hand with the government, then that's when we're going to need them transferable skills, because we'll need an office and we'll need to take from them. Yes, but when they come and say, oh yeah, so I'm telling you, I don't see a brightness and strength, solidarity.
Taking the piss, Ken. That's from Fly. Fly, what do you mean? Have I been taking the piss? In what way, mate?
Oh, that would be jokes when we were back earlier.
I've been taking the
You
piss
have.
out of
The answer is yes.
This existence that we think is life. Yes, I've been absolutely ripping the fuck out of it, and I shall continue to do so until I die. Which, if the authorities have their way, would be any second now.
Can I just say to Lisa and the scribes that no, Kev, that's not happening. And also, with regards to these GANs technology and the bracelets and stuff, I have seen a noticeable difference in my wrist, and it's not clicking in my right hand. I do feel
I want to check some of this out.
Yeah, a little bit less giddy. I do feel balanced.
I can wear around my neck, mate. So I need something for my chest, my lungs, brother.
If he's here. If he's still here, I think he is. He can post a link to where you can get the information from. I will be on the case tomorrow, and I will keep making distilled GANs water, and I'll be having I'm not making GANs. I'm using the bracelets to put around water that's distilled in copper pots, and then charging it up, and then wearing it at night time, and whilst I'm out in daily duties, and. Yeah, I'm testing out. Is it? Oh, good.
Is still here.
I'm going to test out the durability of them, and how they are.
I don't want anything, Anders. I'm not asking for
anything. And then I'm going to put them on the .com, and they'll go with the trust. So then you'll all be able to see, or we'll get
I'm trying to have a private conversation with Anders.
Oh, are you? Sorry, go on then. Silly me.
Could you just do me the favour to shut it up for a minute? God's sake. Just get into a relationship.
Shut up your face.
No, I've lost it. Where's it gone? Anders. Yeah, he is here, yes. Anders. Listen, I'm being genuine. I've got a real problem with my lungs, okay? And it's not getting any better. And according to those that are in control, it's not going to. I'm asking you genuinely, have you heard of anything of this stuff you're involved in might be able to help me out? Because I would really appreciate that in any form.
I'll send you some down. He's going to link me up, or you go to his site.
No, I'm just saying, I understand what it's all about, but has he heard of anybody with the lungs thing? Because I say my lungs are only going to degenerate over. That's a fact.
Yeah, it's to do as far as he can answer, and he will do. But until he does, he told me there is a horror master and the Kesha Foundation. They give evidences and studies and stuff out, and gives energy,
No, that's cool. I'm
power,
not saying
and balance.
don't.
Yeah, it
I'm
will.
not saying
It
give
will.
me 100% proof. I'm just saying.
No, what I'm
Have you
saying is,
got any? Has anybody written and said I used it and I've got?
it will put your cells that are not in a resonant state, that are under attack, that are inflamed. If there is any viruses or microbiological pathogens and things, look at this, scribes. I have been researching. If anything that's untoward, much like the silver and the electrolysis across the wrist, the GANs, when it's affecting and it's doing I don't know if it's the gravitational or the magnetic, I'd have to double check that with Anders, but it will sort your cells out, the ones that are there. It won't create any new cells, but the cells that it's a cell
that's
management.
fair enough,
It should do something, but Anders is the man.
If it could stop further degeneration, I'm not saying stop it completely, but maybe even slow it down would be nice. Possibly, and I'm not asking for somebody to go, yes, it's definitely going to do that, and then if it doesn't, I'm going to go, you lied.
Because it's not like we're saying go onto Amazon and get that $900
exactly.
hydrogen.
I'm just asking for some advice. I'm up for anything. My lungs are only going to get worse. I have had asthma from birth, which hasn't been pleasant, especially in the early years. But now I've got emphysema, COPD, which really is buggering me up.
The living legend might not be living for long, so we got to fix him, everyone. That's what we're saying.
Well,
the living legend that is.
Listen, if I just get a bit of an extension, it'd be nice.
Time extend.
I'm being funny. Just a little bit of an extension. I don't want somebody to come along and go, I can fucking kill you. No, I'm not worried about that.
Yeah.
But if you could stretch me out a bit so I can be a bit more annoying to the authorities for a few more years, that'd be brilliant.
You madman, bless you. You're going to be here for a long time.
That's what it's about. I don't deserve to go yet. I've got too many people to piss off yet.
Too many generals and secretaries to, yeah.
I mean, if they could give me a good fight, I wouldn't mind, but they're all pathetic.
Oh, bless you. Yeah, we'll get the GANs, we'll get some, let me think.
I'm not asking for nothing.
There's been mention.
Given free shit.
No, listen. There's been mention.
What I'm asking for.
C60. Because we're in the atomic age now. When we've gone on the atomic spin and we've talked about. Yeah, have you not heard of carbon 60? It's legendary.
I know what C60 is.
There you go. That's one, Jerry.
I was around when it was developed.
So. Yeah, you've got the silver water, you've got the GANs, and we've got the carbon 60, black seed oil. We've got so much coming up on the horizon. We are spoiled for choice. Spoiled for choice, honestly.
I think, sorry, let me just think the words. Nebulized colloidal silver for lung problems is excellent. I've got to say that, yeah, definitely.
Somebody's give super chat.
Say the colloidal silver daily, working up to the look at the Bob Beck protocol, and the machines and all that, and do the blood electrification and all that. I personally have said I've had nothing but positive results from that when I've used it. That's another thing to look at. Very, very interesting. There's plenty of stuff out there, and I think ultimately there's plenty of combinations of these approaches, shall we call them?
You can fractalize
really,
water.
really beneficial. I obviously don't do. Well, I'm not saying don't do everything, because I can't say that doing everything that's out there isn't beneficial, because I haven't tried it. It could be the fact that it is. But,
yes, Kev, we know.
Yeah.
Bless you.
Really, the stuff I've and I tell you, some of the stuff I've tried just been the most effective stuff has just been changing the normal reaction, or the reaction that I would. I'm not saying the normal reaction, but the reaction that I would normally allow my body, mind, person, spirit, whatever you want to call it, to take. Changing that has just worked incredibly well.
Yeah, then there's a
especially
diet.
with the depression.
Yeah, your
Especially
diet.
with the depression.
Your sugar, the caffeine, you know, how we become addicted to everyday
just don't
household.
go down that road.
Fags,
You know, when you
nicotine.
go, oh, here comes that dark thought, and like 6 months ago it would have been, and now I know that it's gonna go to this point, it's gonna go to this point, and it's going to this point, and I'm gonna be really depressed, and that's where it would go. Where now it is, that thought means this, so I'm going to get up and do something completely different and completely change. And actually, I'm going to make my brain focus on something else. And ta-da! Now all of a sudden, I've changed the reaction to it, and now the end result never arrives. Because I've changed the reaction to how I would normally respond to that feeling. And it's been really powerful for me. I'm not saying it's for everybody, but for me it's been really powerful. And that is just, instead of going, oh my God, here comes that feeling again, and now it's going to go here, there, and
mentalising, to mentalise it,
and
is what we say, yeah.
6 hours later, you're right where you've thought you were going to be. It's like,
like we have the,
I'm going to get up and go to the kitchen, and I'm going to do X, or I'm going to I need to do this. I'm going to get up and do that while this feeling's coming, and all of a sudden that's gone.
Like you have
just changing your reaction.
I'm going to forget. You have the pre-action protocols in these legal realm, and the ticking clock in the body. You have a ticking clock. You've got your body clock and your biochemistry, and your biomechanics. There's a lot of bio stuff going off, and simply put, your systems are very well and good at looking after each other, but we get marginalised and sidelined, and you know, your body clock in itself. There, you've got pre-action, so when you see that letter and it's written in red and you open it and it's got letters and boxes, you automatically go into a certain frame of mind. So what we're here to do is to help you break those programmed. It's like a program that you're running, isn't it, to be fair then, Kev?
Your body instantly is going, red writing, oh, tense up, notice, you owe, pay this, we're coming round, and your body's going, oh,
just a letter, or even a telephone call, maybe. It might be a phone call, you know, whatever.
That's all it is words. It's just that we've all been, our parents, our grandparents, our great-grandparents, possibly even, depending on your age, great-great-grandparents.
No, but where we're at now is what you've just said is where we was before, getting angry, upset, depressed, suicidal. What we're doing now is we're saying, right, who is it sending me this letter? What implied authority and jurisdiction is it that they're on? What is it that they're claiming? And we're going through it in
Thank you for writing.
Yeah, it would go in a tactful.
I'm not sure who you are.
And controlling the emotion is the key there, because that's how you react. Otherwise, you'll pick up the phone and get angry and just give somebody a load
that's no good. They've got you.
Or you'll go and get loads of beers then, and you won't do anything, and you'll sit there and you'll have a drink or you'll have a smoke, and you'll bury those emotions and feelings, and you won't speak about them.
Right? If you get on the phone to these people, and listen, I'm not going to say how long, within a few minutes, shall we say 5, 10, 15, you're getting upset, they've already won. They've already won, because they now know what sort of person you are and how tight your bow is strung. Okay? They've already won. If it's all calm and collected, and well, actually, have you got this and have you got that, and before you do this you must have done X, Y, Z, all matter of factly, they don't know where to go. But this is the problem. 90% of people don't know how to react, and of course they react. It says court bailiff.
We have a new way.
Oh my God!
We have new eyes of looking at stuff, and
it's just it's just about. And I understand. I've been there. People don't think I've not been there, but I can tell you that 25 years ago, and I can get people to confirm this, but 25 years ago, I could get rid of bailiffs off the doorstep piece of this. But now they've had to up their tactics. I can still get rid of them, but they've upped their tactics. It's just about knowing the rules. Look at pre-action protocols. Ask for the deed of assignment and the notice of assignment. They have to have both. I can give you the case law that states that.
That's good. Let's just pause a minute, because that's good, and thank you. We got a comment from Dave of the Pool Clan saying a breathing method. Check it out, Kevin. Butte, and then YKO underneath Benjamin Cross of the Crossland Clan. A super chat. Thank you, Benjamin, for the super chat for our time on here. And Quinn saying something about. I've heard something about quitting smoking, Kev. Well done, Quinn. We have tried that one.
Quinn.
We have tried that, trust me.
Quinn, I love you, but fuck off. No, I don't mean that nasty at all, brother. You know that. Yeah, I know, mate. I know. I'm well aware. I don't smoke heavily. Tobacco.
Ewok's leaving. Say ciao to Ewok. He's gone.
Oh, Ewok. Yeah, I'm not near the laptop or the thing, so I can't. All I've got is the phone in front of me, Dave, so I can't see any of the chat room. And Chris, listen, mate, Tuesday. If you don't hear from me Tuesday, Chris, send me a fucking message on Messenger and I'll ring you, brother. All right? You know what I'm like. What can I say? There's lots of stuff going on. Yeah, give me a call, Chris, if you're off, mate. All right, Tuesday though, not before Tuesday.
Sound like Terry Tibbs. Call me. You don't just call me. You got to make an appointment with me.
Me and Chris are mates. We're friends, and he knows the score.
That's all good then.
I say, look, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, right, I'll repeat it. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, I'm not saying, if it's an emergency, of course I'm available. If it's general stuff, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, I'm not available. I'm available Tuesday to Friday. And either put something, I go into the .com 3 times a week. I go in on a Monday, okay, even though that's technically Monday's not one of my active days. I go in on a Monday and I see what's there. I may respond, but Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I go in and check the forum. If you're desperate to get hold of me, at the moment, you'll have to go through David at splspro.com. We will get my splspro.com
yes, we will.
email sorted out. We will get it sorted out. At the moment.
Help me.
Otherwise, go in the forum, right? Put your stuff in the forum. But if it's a bit too personal, then just give me a nod in the forum.
You can do private messages on the .com, and you got text message and email.
Don't think you have to put your private business
up
on there. You don't. That will keep private. Okay, all conversations are private. I know I've put responses in the forum, but they're general responses that anybody can take in and adapt or utilise if necessary. But if you've got private stuff, keep it private.
Always, yeah.
Yeah. Just say, I need to speak to you in the private, Kevin. You penis. And I'll go, I'll take that seriously. No, you know what I'm saying? I do go in there 3 times a week, but basically the rule is, and it's not a rule, but my thing is, Saturday, Sunday, Monday is out of bounds. For me, if you're in a real, if it's an emergency, then of course I'll respond. So Tuesday to Friday, let's say office hours, shall we? Let's go. I'll tell you what. I'll even give you an hour. 9 till 6.
There we go. Well done. Thank you, Kev.
All right.
Let me go back to the room. We got some activity here. Thank you, brother. Yeah, we got blessings for brother Benjamin. Thank you for that super chat.
Yeah, good man. Fair play, mate.
Quinn saying about doctors, what you've got to do, you know, and how doctors are quick to give. They don't give like what you need to do is how much white sugar do you have in your diet, how much alcohol do you have, how much neurotoxin drugs do you take on a weekly basis. Neurotoxin drugs, what are they, doctor? You know, nicotine, tobacco, generally nicotine, your caffeine, sugar, and caffeine. Everybody has a neurotoxin.
Why are you mentioning the drugs you've prescribed me, doctor?
No, just standard ones though. We don't think about what we do on a daily basis. If you make your coffee like I do, I make 2 litres of filtered coffee with 12 brown sugars in, yeah. And I have that. I've cut that down now. I have tea and I have 6 sugars in 2 litres, so I've gone the opposite way. But I was previously, and I looked at my diet and I thought,
You justified that to yourself.
It used to be white sugars before it was brown, and still 2 litres of coffee. I was smoking 3 fags on the way to work, having about 1 litre of coffee with going on 6 white sugars, and I was wondering why I had a lot of energy, everyone. And then I went to, you go to your doctors and you tell them, they won't say, well, Dave, having 1.5 litres or 1 litre of strength filtered coffee, three king size cigarettes, and all of the sugars, the nicotine and the caffeine you've got. That's 3 sugars there. I mean, 3 sets of drugs.
You might as well be doing meth.
So we get ourselves into by state, by habit, by habitual basis.
Allowed.
Everyone has fags and coffees on the way to work, but not like me. I've got an addictive, overzealous. I like strong things, and those of you like me, that Kev and others, then you know what I'm on about. And quickly, we then what we do is our bodies get a tolerance, and these biorhythms and bioclocks and things that we're even sleeping habits and your pineal and your glands and your hormones and your amino acids. We don't realise what we do, and then we might take some sleeping tablets from the doctor, and then you might have a drink as well. And before long, we're all buzzing around with these drugs that you mentioned cannabis earlier and drugs, and I had to pull up and say, well, I don't get that and agree with it, but that's how it is, and at the beginning of the chat. But when we look at drugs, even the fluoride in the water is classed as a drug, and you've got these religions all around.
Neurotoxin, in fact.
Madness, so it's no wonder that then, right, when I mentioned the Schumann resonance that was about 7.83 megahertz, which is the same as what the Earth gives out, harmonic hertz-wise, frequency-wise, we've had since the 1950s, scientists in the electromagnetic radio field have said that the environment that man's in now, compared to the 1950s, has changed over 10 million times in power for the electromagnetical variants of outputs, the radio frequencies, the smart, the Wi-Fi, the 5G. There's too much, and that's doing us. Yeah, it's no wonder. This is a time that we've never truly, man has never been in. Yeah, we're all messed up.
All sorts of manifestations with electromagnetic fields. Jesus Christ, people.
Yeah, we're all out of this, so it's we've got a lot to contend with when we go on about how we are and diets and changing, and me myself, can't
wait for 6G, Dave?
Oh yeah.
When got into 5G, Jesus Christ.
So yeah, we're just looking for questions.
Sorry,
I'm looking for questions because I want to wrap up. It's
right, I can't
getting
even
20 past 1. 20 past 1.
Oh, shut up, you big tart. Oh, fucking hell, that is. I told you, it's only going to do 10 minutes.
If you want to find us, you find us on the .com, and we interact as a private trust and educational platform with a social interaction, and that requires a donation of initial every year, like a one-off every year of 12 credits promises to us at splspro.com, or you could contact.
For you English
Yeah.
To you people that don't speak
Credits.
cave language,
Promise
at
credit.
12 £12.
12 squids.
We're not even saying English pounds because it doesn't say that on the notes. So 12 promises would be fine. So that works out to one
Promises.
promise.
I'm not an
month.
international merchant trader. I can't deal. Yeah, we can deal with promises. Actually, we're all
You
right.
do rhyme with merchant banker.
Hugs, kisses, promises. Oh, he's on fire now.
Listen to you getting all leery.
We have also on the
drinking.
stop it. We also have on the homepage a link to the Facebook group page, Family Trust, that we've got. In essence, where you can contact us there. I very rarely use that. Kev's on there now and again. There's others on there, but if you don't use social media, then you are on YouTube, which is social media, and you're using that. So just be aware of what social media is. I know I'm not being pedantic, but then there's an email you can use privately just for me at the minute, which is david@splspro.com. Kev will get there, and when he's ready, we're not push anybody.
I'm ready.
Mans aren't ready. They're not ready.
Dave's holding it off, people. Don't believe it.
No,
it's not me that's stopping this process. It's always been David.
You're on a journey, and we're walking you through it, aren't we? That's what we're doing. It's all good. Yes.
Frog marching me through it.
Stop it. More claims. Tomorrow you're going to go for this list.
You will comply. Kevin,
20,
you will comply.
20 claims in this video you've put in at least, man. You badass. Lisa Aquin. Yes, I see that comment. Well said, sister. Crow broke down the word pharmaceutical. Can't remember, but it was great. Something like medieval sin.
Magic.
Medicine, you got medicine, and I can say that the medieval sin, pharma and suitical. Oh, I do know some of this as well, but Kev, what was you saying, brother?
I was saying I'm drinking to death slowly.
Yes, my prayers have been answered.
Pharma, originally, if you go back in Greek, is something to do with magic.
Come on, there we go.
You'll find. So yeah, it's all like spooky spelling. It's all tying in together. But pharma, I'm pretty sure if you go back to the original ancient Greek, is magic, or that's what it's associated with. But fuck all to do with healing. Well, not in the context of today's pharmaceutical industry. I mean, back in the days of Plato and Herodotus and people like that, it was a whole different kettle of fish, and it is how it should have remained. Herbal spices. That's what.
I was very, very drunk at the
time. Where it all comes from. We know all the connections. These people were living just as long a life more recently than we're led to believe. They were all getting into the 70s, 80s. We haven't really progressed from that. And they were all doing herbs and this and that, the other. So that's all I'm saying on the matter. I'm not going to leave anybody either way.
David
the
says,
answers have always been there.
Indy says, pharmaceuticals, the sources of Babylon. And then I've posted a link for an interesting read where you've got... because we're closing down, I don't want to go through, but you've got caffeine and nicotine and alcohol here, coping varieties of caffeine, nicotine and alcohol.
Exactly.
And it's just
why is this shit legal? Come on.
There you
alcohol.
Go. Enjoy.
If it was all like, let's zero everything. Right, what should we legalise? Should we legalise alcohol? You are having a laugh, aren't you? What about cannabis? Yeah, piece of piss. Yeah, we'll do that. That's no problem. Alcohol wouldn't ever be... I mean, this shit's done for a reason. Cool. Are we going into those depths now with the spirits? Cool.
I do like what Lisa said about getting away unwanted energy and calling back required energy, wanted energy. That was a nice comment. Well said, sister.
Lisa, I tell you what, for me, and this was my son that first got me into this, but for me it's really worked. It's the law of attraction, which to me is the same thing.
It's time for your ending. Yeah.
You receive what you give out, and that really worked for me. It really worked for me with depression as well. Really did. If you think darkly, you feel darkly. If you think well and happy and good things, you feel those things. It's so true. It's so simple yet so true. Listen, I can't see any of the chat at the moment. I'm still sitting by the back door smoking a cigarette. So I can't see any of the chat room at the moment. So I do apologise.
Can we have your end of closing down thing, whatever we've got then to come as well? Because now is the time.
Do you want to? Are we closing down?
Yeah, because it's now 1:30.
Well, in that case, just before we close down, I've got a little. I've just smashed the place up. Trying to right. So I've got a little nod to the creator, whoever he, she, probably is for you. It's a good night prayer, Kev Stiley. And if anybody can tell me where this comes from, you will win 4 hours of David's undivided attention on a phone call. Right, here we go. Okay, so little prayer for
you.
This is what you're all going to win if you could answer this. It's not a question. I'm going to say a little prayer, and if anybody can tell me where it comes from fully, then you win 4 hours of David's undivided attention. And he agreed that I could give that out as a gift. Anyway, here we go. So here we go, people. Get into your religious mode. As I lay me down to sleep, I pray the funk will make me free. If I should die before I wake, allow the Lord to rock out naked. Amen.
Oh, wow. Okay, then. I'm not sure. It's from a musical area. Yeah. You mentioned it earlier, I do believe.
Shush, you.
I don't even know, but I'm just mad. You've already... Yes.
Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I just made it up.
That was... Anders says beautiful. And pH is also important in the body's... yes, biochemistry. Well said. Parasites.
I could go further, but we could go... If I should die before I wake here, allow the Lord to rock out naked. Let's have it.
Much love to you, Kev. Thank you. That was in your own unique way. That's beautiful.
That's a nice word for me, unique. It's usually a 4-letter one. Anyway, yes. Let me clear my throat.
A trip to Kent? No, Trumpton. Did you say Kent? No, I said Trumpton. Did somebody say Kent? No,
Did you
Trumpton.
say the Kent countryside or the countryside? Oh, brilliant.
Thank you all. It's been good. It's been a good laugh. We've made a somber subject. Consciousness is truly awake. What has Californication got to do with what Kev said, everyone? Because he's already given it away early, you monkey.
I'm giving it away?
Californication.
Oh, give it away, Dave.
You gave it away.
Give it away, give it away now. Fucking hell, mate.
Oh, good lord. It's been a hoot.
Oh.
Nanny, thank you, scribes, for your time. Those on the replay. Yeah. Give us a thumbs up if we've brought a grimace, even a smile. If we have, then thank you. If you've got anything to say,
You know what,
like to say
Dave?
it.
I've got to say, people, Dave is my rain dance Maggie.
What the hell is that?
He is my rain dance Maggie.
Oh.
Here he is.
Is that a good thing?
And he makes me hump the bum.
I'm just going to
That's
sister.
left you with a few days' work.
Yeah, man. That's it. One love. Thank you. You guys are great.
Thanks
Thank you,
everybody.
Lisa.
Listen, I'm not even at the laptop's behind me, but like 4 feet away, so I can't see it. So I'm sorry about the chat room. I can't see what's going on. It's been great. I take it we're ending up now.
Yeah, it's bedtime.
Thank you all for joining us, for what it's worth. As I say, there was no structure. It's just gone all over the place. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, brilliant. Give a thumbs up on Dave's channel, people. And we'll see you all real soon. You know how to get hold of us. Send Dave a message.
We'll be back next Saturday. Yes. Weekly updates here
If not
on the
before.
Saturday. What? Yeah, thank you all. Much love, scribes. Good vibes. Yes, Lisa. All right, Kev. Thank you. You're a living legend. We'll get you sorted.
No worries, brother. Am I egging on?
Let's see. I'll end the cast now. Let's
Yeah,
go.
all
See you
right,
later. Ciao, bello.
Love to everybody. Big love to you all. Sending it out.
Much love. See you later. Thank you for the super chat as well to the donator there. Much love, fam. Scribes, initiates. Ciao.